Chapter 1 introduces the background and foundations of this research. The future of a country depends greatly on the students, as they are the ones who will later take on leadership roles in society. To prepare for the responsibility, students need strong self-esteem, a positive identity, and essential knowledge. Schools play a very important role in developing this quality, as they are the main place where students gain academic knowledge and learn social values. However, one major issue that threatens a healthy school environment is bullying. Bullying has long been recognized as a serious problem in schools worldwide. It affects to the mental health, academic performance, social relationship, and overall development. In recent years, cases of both physical and non-physical bullying have increased, drawing attention from teachers, researchers, and policymakers. Bullying behavior often creates fears, emotional stress, and social isolation, which is worrying because schools are supposed to be safe spaces for learning and personal growth. Bullying also has a strong impact on students' well-being. Students who experience bullying may feel lonely, anxious, and unhappy, which can affect their ability to learn and build positive relationships. Well-being is an important factor in students' happiness and mental health, as it influences how they function in the school environment. Bullying is generally defined as repeated aggressive behavior that involves an imbalance of power, where stronger individuals target weaker ones who are unable to defend themselves. The problem of bullying in school is complex and cannot be explained by a single cause. It is influenced by a combination of individual traits, family background, peer pressure, and school-related factors. Personal characteristics such as low self-esteem, aggressive behavior, or past experience of being bullied can increase the risk of a student becoming involved in bullying. Family issues, including lack of parental guidance, family conflict, or harsh discipline, may also contribute to the bullying behavior. In addition, peer influence plays a strong role, as some students bully others to gain social status or acceptance. Weak school supervision, unclear rules, and poor teacher-student relationship can further allow bullying to continue. Therefore, the purpose of this study is to investigate the factors that influence bullying behavior among Malaysian school students. This study aims to understand how individual characteristics, family environment, peer interactions, and school climate contribute to the bullying. By examining students' experiences and perspective, this research seeks to provide deeper insight into the causes of bullying beyond statistics alone. The findings are expected to help educators, school administrators, and policymakers develop effective and appropriate strategies to prevent bullying and create safer, more supportive learning environments in Malaysian schools.
Hi, my name is Nur Afika binti Muhammad Mahazam. Now I will present to you about Chapter 2, which is Literature Review. Starting with the definition of bullying. Bullying is an unwanted, aggressive behavior that involves a real or perceived imbalance of power and is not a one-time conflict but rather a repeated action of behavior that can cause harm to the victim. For history of bullying among school students, during 18th to early 20th century, bullying was largely characterized by overt physical aggression, extortion, and social isolation. At that time, such behavior was often tolerated as a normal aspect of school life, with teachers and administrators rarely intervening. This normalization meant that many students endured significant harm without institutional support or protection. Then, jumping into mid-20th century, bullying began to be acknowledged as a distinct social problem. Schools started documenting cases more systematically, though response remained largely punitive and focused on discipline rather than prevention. Teachers often rely on suspension, detention, or corporal punishment, which targeted the behavior but failed to address underlying motivation. As a result, bullying persisted and marginalized students were disproportionately affected. In late 20th century, where this period marked a turning point, it formally defined bullying as intentional, repeated aggression involving a power imbalance. Survey revealed that a significant portion of students worldwide were affected, prompting the development of structured anti-bullying programs in school. Then, in 21st century, Bullying expanded beyond physical and verbal harassment to include racial and cyberbullying facilitated by digital platforms. Social media created new avenues for harassment, often making it more difficult to detect and control. Cyberbullying can occur anonymously and persist outside school hours, amplifying humiliation to wide audience. Studies show profound severe psychological and academic consequences, including anxiety, depression, and diminished educational attainment. School and parents face new challenges, demanding innovative approaches such as digital literacy. We move to classification of bullying. The first one is physical bullying. It refers to direct bodily harm or intimidation such as hitting, kicking, pushing, tripping, or damaging personal belongings. It is the most visible form of bullying and often happens in unsupervised area. The impact is significant as victims may suffer injuries, fear attending school, and experience long-term trauma. Next is verbal bullying, which involves name-calling, insult, threat, mocking, and hurtful comments. It leaves no physical mark but hurts emotionally and can happen anywhere, including online. Victims may internalize negative labels and experience anxiety, depression, and social withdrawal. Then, relational or social bullying. This type of bully aims to damage relationship and belongings by spreading rumors, excluding others, or manipulating friendship. It is often subtle and overlooked, but victims may feel isolated, rejected, and betrayed. This can make it hard for them to form healthy relationships in the future. Moreover, cyberbullying, where it happens through social media and messaging platforms. It includes hurtful message, embracing content, impersonation, or spreading false information. Humiliation can reach a wide audience quickly, causing victims to feel constant stress, anxiety, and shame. Last but not least, bias-based bullying. It targets identities such as race, religion, gender, disability, body size, or sexuality. It is rooted in prejudice and discrimination and often overlaps with other bullying types. Victims face stigma, emotional harm, and long-term struggle with self-identity.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Nuzamira binti Bahrom and I'm going to explain on the literature review on the factors influencing bullying among school students. The first factor that might influence bullying among school students are individual factors, where victims are among individuals with weaker characteristics. For example, they will get bullied by their age, education level, gender, and weight. The example for the situation are seniors might bully juniors in high school settings. This is because seniors possess a more dominant characteristic rather than the juniors. The second factor is peers and circle of friends, where negative behavior portrayed by the peers can encourage the bullying to increase gradually. Other than that, negative behavior portrayed by the peers and circle of friends can possess as a norm to allow the students to fit in with negative behavior to allow them to not being left out by the group. Other than that, lack of support from peers can also cause the increase of bullying among school students. The third factor is school environment, where unhealthy environment shown by the school, for example, lack of management, lack of attention towards bullying, and also inadequate allocation of teachers, can encourage the bullying to keep increasing gradually. Other than that, it will also create bad image towards the school, which can hinder the trust of parents itself. The fourth factor is family environment, where lack of guidance and attention from the parents itself can increase and develop the bad behavior and also bad value among their children. Negative family background can also affect their behavior in the school setting, which can increase the rate of bullying in the school environment. For example, not correcting bad behavior and neglection of their needs. Lastly is social media, where aggressive social media content can influence the behavior of school students towards their friends, their family, and also their teachers, especially among middle school students. Other than that, social media can also lead to cyberbullying from negative behavior shown on social media. For example, aggressive games such as shooting games and also short videos portraying the bad behaviors of someone. Next, I will be explaining on the solution to overcome bullying among school students. First is anti-bullying practice, where it can consist of program, activities, and also campaign that integrate and collaborate with educators, parents, and counselors to help monitor and treat negative behavior in the early stages. Next is family support, where it helps to identify the root cause of bullying among their children. This can be executed by collaborating with the school, where the school becomes informant to the parents to help better understand the bad behaviors happen in the school by their children. There are also other ways that can be executed, for example, become a good role model towards their children and also implementing good values in their everyday routine. The third solution is peer support, where the teachers can help train the students to implement and model positive norms towards their friends to help better solution of conflicts among victims and also the bullies itself. Other than that, it can also help better implementation of good value because most of the students are easily influenced by their circle of friends and also their peers. Lastly is media, where most studies shows that short film acts as a guidance and influence towards a good value among students, especially middle schoolers. Other than that, video games created by teachers in the classroom can also create an interactive base to promote a better value to be implemented in their everyday routine. For example, the cartoon of Bluey, which portrays a positive behavior throughout their lives from the start until finish.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Alia Sofia binti Abdul Samad. Now I will explain the research methodology used in the study on factor influencing bullying among school students. This chapter explains how the study was conducted, how the study was collected, and how the data were analyzed. The study used a quantitative research approach and applied a structured questionnaire and distributed through Google Form. This approach allows numerical data to be collected to measure respondent perception of bullying factor in an objective and systematic way. The respondent of the study consists of undergraduate students from University Kuala Lumpur Institute of Industrial Technology as well as the member of the public. The age range of respondents was from 11 to 16 years old, including the secondary school, student and working adult. The range of respondents provide diverse perspective on bullying among school students. Before data collection, observations were conducted through articles, news and academic journals related to bullying cases. Based on the observation, questionnaire questions were developed to identify the factor influencing bullying and possible solution. The questionnaire was then distributed online using platforms such as WhatsApp, Telegram, and Instagram. All responses were kept confidential and used for the academic purpose only. The research instrument used was structured questionnaire, developed using Google Form. Section A focused on demographic information such as gender, age group, and employment or education status. Section B consists of Likert scale questions related to factor influencing bullying among school students, with response option ranging from strongly agree to strongly disagree. For data analysis, 5 main bullying factor variables were identified, including individual factor, peer influence, school environment, family guidance, and media exposure. In addition, 4 solution-related variables were analyzed, such as anti-bullying practice, family support, peer support, and positive media exposure. The data were analyzed using frequency and percentage calculation to identify pattern and trend in the response. Overall, this methodology allows the study to systematically examine the factor influencing bullying among students and propose suitable solution based on the finding.
Hi, my name is Nur Alia Sofia binti Abdul Samad. Now I will present the finding and discussion for this study on factor influencing bullying among school students. This chapter analyzes data collected through a Google Form questionnaire and interpret the result based on the research objective. We succeed to get a total of around 100 respondents participate in this study along the period. The questionnaire consists of 3 sections. Section A covered demographic information such as gender, age, and employment or education. Section B focus on factor influencing bullying, while Section C examine possible solution to bullying. For Section A, the respondents come from various age groups ranging from 11 to 16 years old and include students, working adult, and members of the public. The demographic diversity allow the finding to reflect different perspective on bullying among school students. For Section B, focus on bullying factor. Based on the result, a majority of respondents agreed that individual characteristics contribute to bullying behavior. For example, approximately half of respondents, which is about 50%, agreed or strongly agreed that students are bullied because of their physical appearance. This indicates that visible difference play an important role in bullying incident. For academic performance, the largest proportion of respondents, around 35%, select neutral, while smaller percentage agree or disagree. This suggests that academic performance influence bullying in some situations, but it's not a dominant factor for all the students. In terms of gender, socio-academic status, about 40 to 45% respondents agree or strongly agree that this factor can lead to bullying. These results show that social identity and financial background may increase student vulnerability to bullying. Family-related factor also show strong agreement among approximately 110 respondents. Around 50 to 60% agreed and strongly agreed that lack of parent attention guide to bullying behavior. Peer influence emerged as one of the strongest factors. Around 55 to 60% responded agree or strongly agreed that student bully due to peer pressure, the desire to be popular, and fear of being left out. This highlight bully is often driven by social acceptance and group dynamic. School-related factor also significant. More than half of respondents, approximately 55%, agreed and strongly agreed that poor school rule or lack of punishment contribute to the continuation of bullying. A negative school environment was also perceived to increase the bullying incident. Section C focused on solution to the bully, and the results show that around 50 to 55% responded agree or strongly agree that counseling can help students who bully and those who is bullied. A similar proportion believe that classmates should support one another and the students should report bully when it occurs. Additionally, more than half of respondents agree that teachers should emphasize the consequence of bullying and schools should provide safe and anonymous reporting platform. Overall, the result indicate that bullying among school students is a complex issue influenced by individual, family, peers, and school-related factors. Therefore, a holistic approach involving school, family, and peer and counseling support is necessary to reduce bullying and create safer learning environment.
Chapter 5 summarizes the whole research, including the purpose of the study, main findings, implications, and limitations. This study was carried out to understand how common bullying is in Malaysian schools, what causes it, and how it can be reduced. The data were collected using an online questionnaire with a Likert scale and involved respondents aged between 11 and 60 years. The study focused on 5 main factors that influence bullying: personal attitudes, peer pressure, family background, school environment, and media exposure. The results show that bullying is not caused by one single factor, but by a combination of many issues. Physical appearance is the most common reason students are bullied, while academic performance is seen as less important. Gender and family income have a moderate influence. A lack of empathy is a key personal factor where students do not care about others' feelings. Problems at home, such as lack of parental attention and family conflict, strongly affect student behavior in school. Peer pressure also plays a big role as some students bully others to be popular or to avoid being left out. In addition, weak school rules, poor punishments, and limited counseling services make bullying seem normal in some schools. The findings suggest that schools need to do more than punish bullies. Schools should promote respect, empathy, and inclusion and work closely with parents to address problems at home. Clear school rules, strong discipline, counseling services, and peer support system are all important. Although this study has limitations such as relying on self-reported data and focusing on specific contact, it clearly shows that bullying in Malaysia is a serious issue. To create a safer learning environment, parents, teachers, and policymakers must work together to address the real causes of bullying and support students both emotionally and socially. For recommendation, I have identified 3 key areas for future research. First, we need to expand our scope by comparing different school environments such as urban versus rural or public versus private schools. We can see if bullying patterns change depending on the setting. Second, we must look closer at technology. Since online interactions often lead to face-to-face bullying, future studies should focus specifically on cyberbullying and social media influence. Finally, I recommend a mixed methods approach. While surveys give us numbers, adding interviews and focus groups will help us hear the students' actual stories. This will help us understand why some students remain neutral and how they truly feel about the way teachers handle bullying in their schools.